Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do Plant Kingdom Part 2, in which we will be covering bryophytes and pteridophytes. So first of all, let me tell you that bryophyte is divided into two parts. Number 1, liverwort and moss. Liverwort has mercantia and moss contains sphagnum, polytrichum and funaria. These are the examples. Okay, now see, bryophytes live in the moist shaded areas of the hill. So this is the male thallus, and this is the female thallus. This is the male thallus. The main difference, uh, how could you identify which is male and female? So see, in female this is so properly flower is made, and in male it is not made properly. Okay, and female there is archegoniophore, in male there is antheridophore. Okay, and in both of them there is gamma cup and rhizoids, which is your roots. Then this one is your funaria. Okay, funaria is a part of moss, and this is sphagnum. Sphagnum is also a moss. Okay, there are three examples of moss which you should remember: sphagnum, polytrichum and funaria. Okay, now let's begin with bryophytes. So bryophytes are kind of amphibians because they can live in soil, but they are dependent on water for sexual reproduction. We'll see later on how they are dependent on water. So basically, they have a thallus-like and prostate. Okay, they are thallus-like, prostate or erect. Okay, and they are attached to the substratum by the rhizoids. This is very important point, that how they are attached to the substratum by the rhizoids. Okay, they lack true roots, stems and leaves, and they possess root-like, leaf-like or stem-like structures, and their main body is haploid. It produces gametes called gametophyte. The sex organs which they have: for male they have antheridium, for female they have archegonium. You can remember this as so. See, we know that we have learned this in earlier classes, that male contains anther. So male one is antheridium, and for female ancheri archegonium. Okay, so antheridium, the male gamete is antherozoites. Okay, and female archegonium produces a single egg. Okay, then the male antherozoites, okay, this is the male gamete, and the male sex organ is antheridium. It produces biflagellate antherozoites. Okay, now let's see why water is important for bryophytes. See, the antheroids are released into water where they come in contact with archegonium, and fusion takes place and zygote is formed. Now zygotes do not go under reduction division, and they produce a multicellular body called sporophyte. Sporophyte is not free living, but it is attached to the gametophyte and derives nutrition from it. Okay. Some cells of sporophyte undergo meiosis process to produce haploid spores. Okay, which germinate and produces gametophyte. Then let's see the economic importances. So it provides food. Bryophytes provide food for mammals, birds and other animals. Species of moss which is sphagnum. Okay, it provides peat which is used in fuel and packing material for transshipment of living material. They have ability to hold water, and mosses and lichens can colonize rocks. Okay, they can decompose rocks, which can make substrate, which is helpful for the growth of the higher plants. Okay, they also prevent soil erosions. The bryophytes is further divided into liverworts and mosses. Let's see each of them. Liverworts lives in the moist, shady habitats such as banks and streams, marshy ground, damp soil, bark of trees. Okay, it's the plant body of a liverwort is thalloid, and example is mercantia. This example is very important. I have shown you the picture of mercantia also. Okay. The thallus of this liverwort is dorsiventral and is closely pressed to the substrate. Okay. Then it has leaf-like appendages. It does not have leaf but has leaf-like appendages in two rows on the stem-like structures. Okay, because it lacks, bryophytes lack true root stems and roots. Okay. Asexual reproduction takes place by fragmentation, which results in formation of gamete, which are green multicellular asexual bloods, and they develop in small receptacles which are called as gamma cups, which are located on the thalli. This gamma detaches from the parent body and germinates to form a new individual. During the sexual reproduction, the male and female organs are produced either on the same or on the different sporophyte. Okay, sporophyte is differentiated into foot, set and capsule. This is very important. You have to remember that that sporophyte is differentiated into foot, seta and capsule. Okay, then the spores are produced within the capsule. These spores germinate and form free living gametophytes. Now let's see about moss. So moss has two life cycles. Two life stages. One is the protonema stage, one is the leafy stage. Protonema stage develops directly from the spore, whereas the leafy stage develops from the secondary protonema as a lateral bud. Okay, it is very much important. Then the protonema stage is a creeping, green, branched and frequently filamentous stage, whereas in leafy stage it consists upright slender axis and has spirally arranged leaves, and they are attached to the soil through rhizoids. Now in bryophytes we have seen that the substratum is attached through rhizoids. Here the leaves are attached to the soil through the rhizoids. Okay? Rhizoids is your roots only. Okay? And this stage has the 6 organs also. Which stage? The leafy stage, the second stage. Okay, then reproduction में vegetative reproduction by fragmentation and budding. Sexual reproduction में sex organs are there, antheridia and archegonia. We have studied about it earlier also, which are produced at the apex of the leaf, means at the top of the leaf. Okay, and then after fertilization, zygote develops into sporophyte, which consists foot, seta and capsule. We have seen earlier also about this. Then the sporophyte, now we have seen that. Now see what is happening. The zygote, okay, the zygote is developing into a sporophyte, which consists of a foot, seta and capsule. Now in the case of liverwort, we saw that the sporophyte of liverwort also consists of foot, seta and capsule, but the sporophyte of moss is more elaborate than the the sporophyte in liverwort. Okay, though both of them contain foot, seta and capsule. Now the capsule contains spores. Spores are formed through the process of meiosis. Okay, and the mosses have a very elaborate mechanism of spore dispersion. Okay, examples of mosses I've told you earlier also: Funaria, Polytrichum and Sphagnum. Now let's see what are pteridophytes. Okay, now first of all I would like to give you the examples of pteridophytes. So first of all, see, pteridophytes are divided into 4 classes: Pteridopsida, Flyopsida, Lycopsida and Phanopsida. See, the last, how to remember this? See, the last word opsida is repeating. Now what you have to remember in the first one, it is Pteropsida. It is very similar to pteridophytes, so you will remember it like that only. The second one, Phylopsida. Okay, you can remember it through phyl. So Phylopsida. Second, Lycopsida. Ly, झूठ बोलना, and cop, police. So Lycopsida, and last is Phanopsida. So see, Phanopsida, Phanopsida. Okay, so like this you can remember it. Now let's see how to remember the examples. So the examples of Pteridopsida. First, Dryopteris teres. First one we just have to insert a dry and then there is a teres. So Dryopteris teres, and this one you have to remember, which is adiantum. Then for Flyopsida, Phyllotum. Okay, it is very similar and it is rhyming also. For Lycopsida, Lycopodium and Selaginella. This Selaginella is repeating so many times that you will automatically able to Okay, and in case of Phenopsida equisetum, how to remember this equisetum? Through equal setup. Okay, it looks like you're saying equal setup, so equisetum. Okay, these are the examples of pteridophytes. Now let's see what are pteridophytes. See, you can see here. This is Selaginella. This one is equisetum. See, equal setup is done. So equisetum you can remember by so. Then this is your fern. You must have seen fern once or twice. And this is salvinia. Salvinia, see, there is a line in your NCRT which says that salvinia and selaginella are those spores which are heterosporous. Okay, so you will be able to learn the name salvinia and selaginella on your own only. Pteridophytes includes horsetail and ferns. ठीक है, they are used for medicinal purposes as soil binders. ठीक है, they are also frequently grown as ornamentals. ठीक है, and evolutionary they are the first terrestrial plants, means they are the first plants which are grown on land. ठीक है, from till now bryophytes, algae, we have seen they were grown in marine, in water, so they were the first grown on land. They possess vascular tissues which are xylem and phloem. Then they are found in cool, damp, shady places. Okay, and they flourish well in sandy soil conditions also. Okay. Now bryophytes, in bryophytes dominant phase is the gametophytic, but in pteridophytes the dominant phase is the sporophyte. Okay. Basically they want to tell us that in bryophytes it has a gametophytic plant body, but pteridophytes have a sporophytic plant body which is differentiated into true root, stems and leaves, whereas the pteridophytes have a really good vascular tissue which is your xylem and phloem, and the leaves of the pteridophytes are small in case of selaginella and large, which is macrophyllous, in case of ferns. The sporophytes are called as sporangia and they have leaf-like appendages which is called as sporophyllous. See, leaf-like appendages are present in, where is the, just a minute. The leaf-like appendages are also present in liverworts of bryophyta, and these leaf-like appendages are present in your pteridophytes also, which are called as sporophyllous. In some cases sporophyllous forms distinct structures, it forms distinct compact structures which are called as strobili or cones. In case of selaginella and equisetum, so selaginella forms strobili, equisetum forms cones. Okay, then it produces spores by the process of meiosis. Okay, and the spores germinate to give rise to small but multicellular free living thalloid gametophytes which are called as prothallus. Please listen to this line again. These spores germinate to give rise to small but free living thalloid gametophytes called as prothallus. Now see, those gametes, the spores, they also germinate to give, they, किधर है यार? Majority of the pteridophytes have similar kind of spores and they are called as homospores. But some pteridophytes such as selaginella and salvinia have two kinds of spores which are large and small, and they are called as heterosporous. Okay, and the large spore for female, small spore for male gametes respectively. The gametophytes ठीक है ना. And the development of zygote takes within the female gametophyte. Then I have already tell you the classification of these 4 classes of the pteridophytes. So thank you so much. Please like this video. Bye.